Thursday, and welcome to the beautiful sunny weather of a Cairns winter. This is the type of weather you expect to get. It's the perfect time of the year where there's very little precipitation and so much sunshine. Yes, that is an incredible amount of sarcasm dripping out of my mouth. I mean, what is going on? Look at the hills there. They're totally covered. I've been putting off this walk this morning because it's just after 10, about 10:30, hoping that the weather would clear. It's actually got worse. And I just don't know what's going on with the weather. This is insane. I've got the plovers going crazy as well. I'll give them a wide berth. That's a big mother, that one. Wow, look at the size of that bird. Quite decent size. Anyway, the plan today is to go up to the shops, and I've got a complication with my, I'm trying to get a credit through Vietjet for the flight that I couldn't take because I had a crook back. And it's not as simple as the process with Jetstar. Jetstar came through with my voucher yesterday, so that's all done and dusted. I got the full amount back, $630 something. So that was very nice. But they don't do things as simply in Vietnam. In Vietnam, because the medical certificate I got just said I had a medical condition. That wasn't good enough for the Vietnamese. They want to know specifically what it was for. So I'm going to have to get and have another GP appointment. Luckily I don't have to pay for these appointments, but because I'm on a pension, thank God. But I'm going to have to go and see a GP just to write out a letter which is more comprehensive. In other words, saying what the condition was, in this case a bad back, and probably give a time frame for it too, because it's supposed to be occurring within 15 days of the actual flight. Now there was a delay between this flight to Bali and the connecting flight in Bali of probably about almost a week, maybe 5 days to 6 days. So that's within the time frame. And certainly my back was still crap at that stage because it took well over a week for it to clear up after the flight date, which was on Good Friday, the 7th of April. So anyway, now that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is they've got this rule where they have a red stamp that they put on official government documents, and they're hoping for that one of those as well. Not that we have that system here, so I don't know how that's going to work. I could possibly get the document witnessed, notarized, something like that, and that may make them happy. I don't know. As you can see, this rain is just persistent. This is incredible. It would be nice to go out on my bike occasionally. I haven't done it for about a month. Well, the weather has been pretty bad. Jeff was very lucky when he came here. He actually got about a week's good weather. He's very lucky because this is sort of the crap that we've had to put up with this winter. And there's no wonder it's been a record downpour. I can believe it. So we had a really, really hot summer. Now we've got a really, really wet winter. So that's weather for you. But anyway, so I've got a few things to think about. Look, if I can't get the credit, it's annoying, but the main one was the Jetstar one. This credit's probably worth about $450, but the Jetstar one was $630 something. So that was the more important of the two. And I'll still go ahead and book the tickets with Vietjet because it's still a very good deal. But the longer I leave it, the more the higher the prices go for the tickets. So you've got to get in quickly if you want to get decent value. I'm trying to I'm actually planning to come back via Melbourne, so I'm going to take two different routes. The first one I'm going to go via Brisbane. I'll catch up with my friend Steve in Brisbane before the flight. I won't even have to stay overnight because it's a really late flight. More plovers, they're bloody everywhere. So there's a chick there, that's what they're freaking out about. Oh, it's insane. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is something a bit creative. I'm going to go via Brisbane up on the first leg going to Vietnam, and I'll be coming back. The plan is to come back via Melbourne so I can catch up with my cousin, pick up some stuff that's been stored there for ages, and just get that all sorted, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while. Certainly don't want to go to Melbourne in the middle of winter. This will be around sometime in October, I think. So fingers crossed it may not be such bad weather. But the flight gets in around midnight, so I'll have to hang around the bloody airport for a while before I can get a sky bus and a train to their place. So it's a bit of a hassle, but it's actually a cheaper fare than going back to Brisbane as well. So, but I'll probably end up flying Virgin from Melbourne back to Cairns because I just hate the T4 terminal that much that I'd do anything to avoid. Even though I've got the credits with Jetstar, I just don't want to use them because they use T4 and it's a really poxy terminal. Whereas you go Virgin, you got T2. The other thing I was looking at too was maybe doing another trip to Vietnam as well, because I've always wanted to get some time out of here during summer, because it does get so bloody oppressive. And in February they've got some very cheap fares, so if I could get a flight early February, maybe not even go to Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, because the smog's pretty bad that time of year. Could possibly go to Bung Tau, which is it's on the coast. It's very clean air, small place, but got a few bars and things. Pretty slow pace of life there, so it may be a little too quiet for me. Or maybe the other alternative is to go to Nha Trang, which I haven't been to for years. I used to like it, but the Russians have invaded there. They're not only invading Ukraine, they're invading coastal cities in Vietnam too, in particular Nha Trang. So I don't know what sort of a scene it is there now, but that's a possibility. So I might mix it up a bit, try something different. Maybe I won't book ahead, maybe I'll keep it really flexible so that I can change my itinerary depending how I feel. That's the other option, I guess. Maybe I should do it that way, because usually I have everything planned ahead, but that does sort of lock you in. So, but I think if I got one of those cheap flights, I mean they're very cheap flights in early Feb, right through to maybe mid-March, something like that, that would be perfect. It'd just take the sting out of summer for me here. So that's another option. I don't hold out much hope getting this credit with them, but I'll try. The first step will be just to get a more comprehensive medical certificate and just see how we go. I don't think the GP would care. I'm quite happy to do it, but I'll try it out anyway, see what happens. It's worth a try. Oh boy, oh, this weather, there's just no break in it, it's just grey everywhere. It's nice to get out of the house, but I'm going to get myself a bottle of Plonk, maybe have a few glasses of red and some cheese and bickies for lunch, and that'll be it for the day for me, I think. I slept a lot better after having a sleeping pill last night. I had a shocking night's sleep previous to that, but feeling a lot better today. So that always helps. Anyway, I better sign off now and try to bet on my way through this inclement weather. Got everything done again, which is good. Stuffed up with one of my prescriptions. It was out of date. I didn't check the dates correctly. That was my mistake. But yeah, it was. I got an appointment with the Vietnamese doctor, David, at Trinity Beach tomorrow at 8:15. So I figure it's probably. I don't even know if he's actually been to Vietnam. I asked him whether he'd been back to the country, but I don't think he had. I don't even know if he was born in Vietnam, although he does speak Vietnamese. He did tell me that. But he might understand the culture. I think it's just a matter of making the note look official to make them feel better, because it's just the bureaucratic nature of the country. I've never actually struck that bureaucracy before, apart from getting, visas, going to immigration. That's about it, really. I haven't found them to be overly burdened with bureaucracy. I find that their businesses over there tend to run pretty smoothly. I've had to get computer repairs done and had other things done over there. Been there many times, got medical, been in the hospital, had to be a patient there. It's all, it seems okay. But I guess, they're not going to make it easy to get a credit, are they? They're going to make you, go through all the hoops, and that's fine. At least it's not raining at the moment, although it is dripping a little bit, but much better than when I was walking up here. Oh. Anyway, hopefully it's not raining tomorrow morning. Got to go to Trinity Beach. It would be nice if it was actually dry and I could actually take my push bike there for once. It's getting very frustrating, this weather, because that would be my preferred way of getting there. I could have got an appointment today at 3 o'clock, but that's when my delivery's due. Groceries, so just not on. So, well, fingers crossed it'll work out tomorrow. It's a bit more time for it to clear. It's changeable weather. I mean, one day you'll have crap like this, the next day it'll be nice and sunny, so fingers crossed. But yeah, no, it's been a very ordinary winter. It's been cool, that's the good thing, never going to complain. After that summer, this cool weather is just bliss. But a little bit too much precipitation for my liking. I wonder how it's affecting the cane growers. I also think it's probably why people have got so many allergies at the moment, because it's probably leading to flowers, more flowering plants maybe. I don't know, but apparently there is a lot around. I don't get a lot of this gossip because I'm not on Facebook. That seems to be the major platform that people use for local news around here. So I'm out of the loop. Oh, good news is that Steve seems to finally have had his electrical issues, his solar issues fixed. He had a new inverter installed in his system, and now it seems to be running perfectly well. But the company he was been dealing with are just dickheads. They've really stuffed him around, and they could have saved a lot of angst, because he was thinking he's going to have to take the legal avenue. No one wants to do that, because only people that win there are the lawyers. And it was getting to that stage, but they should have done this ages ago, changing the inverter. But now they've just got bad will with Steve, and he'll tell other people. It's not the way to run a company. And as a matter of fact, they really should have given him something for it too, because they had stuffed him around. They're in the wrong, in my opinion, and he just doesn't seem right to me. If a company does that, and some companies are good that way, they will acknowledge that a customer has been stuffed around and they will compensate them. So, and I've got to say, to be fair with Jetstar's got a lot of issues, but I've never had a hassle getting a voucher off them. So in that respect, they're okay. And there was one time where a flight was cancelled. It was in Singapore, and they actually put me up in a hotel near Orchard Road. It wasn't a bad area, and I think the room rate was around $300 a night. It's just an expensive city. But the only trouble with that was that the woman who was actually allocating the vouchers for the free room for overnight stay, she was hopelessly organised, and I didn't get my my voucher until late in the morning, so most of my sleep time was stuffed, so just poorly organised. Happy hour day, but it's around 8 o'clock in the morning. Got to go to a doctor's appointment 8:15 to try to get a more comprehensive statement from the doctor what my ailment was when I couldn't make my flight, and hopefully get the credit voucher back from Vietjet. Not holding my breath, but we'll see how we go. This weather sucks. Nice rainbow, but I got rained on coming back, even though it looked like clear skies. So enjoy the rainbow, because moisture does come with it. So very picturesque. Hopefully you can see that clearly through the lens. I tried this before and it didn't really come through. But getting there to the GP's, constant headwind, real hard work. It was a lot easier riding back. And I haven't ridden the bike for over a month, and you can tell by my breathing, it's not the best. So hopefully we'll actually get some dry weather for a few days before another deluge comes down. This is just crazy weather, guys, really bad. So hopefully we'll get back to what is deemed to be normal. So I got my amended doctor's certificate outlining that I had a crook back. The doctor's a bit concerned that, because it's a different doctor, the one who gave the original certificate out, that might be an issue. I said, look, I don't care. I'm just going to try it on. If it's not good enough, well, so be it. And he's a Vietnamese doctor, so I don't know if that'll help at all. Probably not, but I'm clutching at straws here. I also had an issue with trying to book a seat, a deluxe seat on the Vietjet flight. There was only one seat showing, and I thought it must be an error, but because the deluxe section's quite small compared to the economy. As it turned out, every other seat had already been booked. So there's only one available, and it's right in the middle of the row, so there's no way I'm going to take that. So I might have to go a week earlier, where I found a couple of window seats available, actually not window seats, aisle seats. All the window seats were taken, but there were a couple of aisle seats. So I want either an aisle or a window seat. It's a night flight, so I don't really need a window seat. But the only thing with an aisle seat is you could have people bumping you as they're walking through. But this is a fairly small section next to the business class and the high-paying passengers, so I doubt whether the traffic would be that great there. I think we probably have our own toilet facilities and stuff, so hopefully that's the case. Anyway, so we'll see how we go getting it booked. I was hoping to come back to Melbourne on a different route, but I don't think it's viable. The price seems to be higher if you book one way, so maybe I just can't do that. Anyway, we'll see. A happy hour on a Friday, and the weather looks crap. We're going to get inundated with rain probably. There's a plane coming in. Can you see that? Yeah, I think that's in frame. And hopefully that will be me in about 6 to 8 weeks' time, heading off to Brisbane and then eventually Vietnam. And that will be wonderful. I mean, I love it up here. Compared to living in Melbourne, this is paradise. I absolutely love it, but I am looking forward to going back to Vietnam. So we'll see how it all pans out. I've booked the tickets today. So the first step has been navigated, and just hopefully I can see through the whole thing. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.